Game's in the Admiral refrigerator. The door is closed, the lights out. Butter's getting hard, the eggs are cooling, and the jello is jiggling.
Welcome to Select Start Fantasy Basketball. Thank you again for making me a small part of your day. I am McShay, and you can reach me on Twitter at McShayJ. Today, we're getting into our Week 17 waiver wire pickups. However, as we all know, we're rapidly approaching those coveted playoffs, and we need to make sure that we win our weeks in the playoffs to get to the championship. But you can't win unless you're in. And here we have Nye today to help us get in. Nye, how you doing, man?
I'm good. It's coming down to the crunch time, and everybody's trying to scramble to get in. You're trying to win these last couple weeks. Those who have the buys locked up, they're feeling comfortable, and those who don't, gotta work a little harder.
Just work a little harder, he says. But you know what we say here at Select Start Fantasy Sports? Find the value. Find those players. And that's why you're here. Week 17, waiver pickups. Let's get into it. One guy that we've identified is Isaiah Hartenstein of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Look, in my opinion, this man only has fantasy value as long as Larry Nance and Jared Allen are recovering from injury. He's a spot starter at best, but you have to determine which game will be to his and your advantage. Someone that you could look to if other starters continue to miss time.
Yeah, I think with Isaiah Hartenstein, you might be right about, all these guys missing time and him kind of filling the void. But he's filling the void in a very, very good way. I mean, you take a look at his numbers over the span of, which he arrived in Cleveland from the Denver Nuggets. He's one of those guys who impacts, the game on many different levels. And just taking a look at the box scores from, his most recent games, you can just see, just the volume of some stats. He has 12 rebounds in one game, and then, he dishes out, 6+ assists. He has 4 blocks in another game, 3 steals in another, and all he needs to do is just chip in points at that point. And you have a player who can be highly productive, especially in a game pick league. If you can figure out when one of these guys is going to miss a game, he could be one of those plays where he just goes super well for you. And I think on a day-to-day basis, in a more standard type of league, I think he could be a value play, especially as a streamer.
Definitely, Hartenstein is that guy that is trending towards the positive. His heat map is looking promising, and so keep an eye on Isaiah Hartenstein. Another player identified for this Week 17 waiver wire pickup is Jalen McDaniels of the Charlotte Hornets. The other night, he got into somewhat of a UFC battle with Bogdan Bogdanovic as he was whacked in the upper eye and missed the end of the first half. But us here at Select Star Fantasy Sports, we don't think that laceration is going to impact his value going forward.
Yeah, I think with Jalen McDaniels, he's a very intriguing prospect. He's a guy who's going to have the opportunity with all the injuries to Gordon Hayward and PJ Washington, who just went down. He's one of those guys who's going to be able to get in the game. You take a look at his heat map over the last few games. He's averaging around that 30 minutes per game mark. So, with, like I said, the aforementioned injuries and the playing time, he should be one of those guys towards the end of the year who starts to, gain momentum and sees a lot of playing time down the stretch, at least until Gordon Hayward gets back.
Usage rate is one of those things that we key on here at Select Star Fantasy Sports. And in the sleeper leagues, it's key that your guy is playing. Jalen McDaniels on April 9th set a career high, okay? 21 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 3 3-pointers on 9 of 14 shooting in 32 minutes. his coach is starting to see his value. Coach Borrego has said, we're going to need his versatility, his shot making, and his length. So just with his coach getting out there and backing him up, it speaks to the character of Jalen McDaniels. And a person who we've seen had some pretty questionable character the last couple of this last week is Taylor Horton-Tucker. Taylor Horton-Tucker of the Los Angeles Lakers. Wow, what can we say? I mean, with LeBron James and AD down, someone is going to have to pick up the scoring and the rebounds and the assists. To me, most of that falls on Schroeder, Montrez, Kyle Kuzma, and maybe a little bit of Drummond because he's not a big-time scorer, but only so much slack can be picked up by Schroeder and the rest of the guys. THT has had a modest usage rate while LeBron and AD have been sidelined at almost 30%. But what is key to that usage rate is that his usage rate is higher than Schroeder, Kuzma, and Harrell.
Yeah, I love these kinds of players. And we talked about at the start, at this time of year, you're going to really have to find these guys who do everything. And Taylor Horton-Tucker is one of those guys. Like, he floats around that 25, to 28 minutes a game mark since, the guys, LeBron and AD, have gone down. He hasn't really done too much with that opportunity. But, as you've seen as of late, he looks like he's starting to get more comfortable with his role without those guys in the lineup. He's another one of those guys who can affect the stat column in multiple categories. Just example, his 11 assists, on the 19th, he was able to dole out. He's just one of those guys being their best, wing defender. He should see around that, 28 to 30 minutes a game, and he should have enough opportunity to be viable. I just hope this trend continues with THT because, he's a phenomenal, talent. He's super long, and just for his development wise, I see good things coming down the stretch, at least until LeBron gets back.
Now, I agree. On a per 36 minute basis, Taylor Horton-Tucker is averaging almost 20 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and a block. Okay, we're talking about that's transformational to a team. If you're looking for somebody who can transform your team, Taylor Horton-Tucker might be that guy while LeBron and AD are out. Okay, now as we are looking for transformational players, it's hard to find that guy towards the end of the season, especially as we're ramping up for the playoffs. The waiver wire has been plucked dry. Okay, you have great players stuck on teams that aren't even getting to the playoffs. So you're going to need to find that McShay of the day. Okay, the McShay of the day this week is none other than Mo Bamba of the Orlando Magic. Mo Bamba is my guy. Okay, look, Mo Bamba the other night hit 8 of 11 shots, 5 of 6 3-pointers. That I did not misspeak there. I did not misspeak. I did not misspoke. That is 5 of 6 from the 3-point stripe. Okay, 0 for 1 from free throws, but we'll forgive that because he shot 5 for 6 on 3-pointers for 21 points, 5 rebounds, 1 block with 2 turnovers and a loss tonight. Okay, Mo Bamba is my guy. He scored a career high in points. He scored a career high in made threes. He's now scored double-digit points in 8 of his last 9 games.
Yeah, Mo Bamba, I'm with you as him being the McShay of the day. He has enormous upside every night. If he can hit, a certain minute mark, which is around that 28, 29 minutes a game. And that really all depends on how Wendell Carter is playing. But Mo Bamba can hit that mark. This is a guy who could easily get you in a game pick situation. He can get you 25, as we've seen already since Kyan Birch has been been basically released. He's over with the Toronto Raptors. Mo Bamba has kind of seen his confidence, hit a new level, and he's starting to produce. And the trend looks good right now. We hope the minutes increase, to kind of cap this off. He could be he could be a league winner down the line. A guy you could literally steal off the waiver wire right now. You could plug into your last spot in your lineup and get a really good number out of, because he can affect points, rebounds, and blocks. Another one of those guys who does multiple things, and he can stay on the floor because he can stretch the floor, which is good for Orlando. And he's young, on a very bad team, so he's going to get a lot of playing time. If he doesn't get hurt, this could be a guy who helps you, make a run. And we're looking for those guys. I'm all for this. I'm all for Mo Bamba being the McShay of the day.
Mo Bamba is available in 85% of leagues in the Sleeper mobile app. He has made 12 three-pointers in his last 4 games. He's shooting 70% from 3 in his last 4 games. And Friday he was injured, but guess what? He stayed in the game and finished with 14.6 boards and 3 blocks. With Keem Birch being shipped out, we all know this magic man by the name of Mo Bamba is going to earn more consistent minutes. And like Nye pointed out, if he can get up to that 28, 29-minute range, he will earn his title of McShay of the day. Thank you, all of the Select Start Fantasy Basketball socials and links for the Sleeper mobile app, and our merch. Our Select Start Fantasy Sports merch can be located in the description below. For weekly content, please subscribe. And to be on the drop, please ring that notification bell.
In the Admiral refrigerator, the door is closed, the lights out. Butter's getting hard, the eggs are cooling, and the Jell-O is jiggling.